Would it help if I put that on? Hi, everybody. So I filmed a video today to kick off August, and then none of my software is working anymore because it's been so long since I've done a pre-recorded video that I have to update everything on my computer. This is what happens when you don't keep up on your FlossTube. So in order to make my deadline for August 1st by midnight, I'm doing a quick live stream, and I'm just going to save it as a video and put it over on my FlossTube side. So anyway, hello everybody. I hope everyone is doing well, and welcome to a video a day August. Nicole is hosting this, and I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to get my butt back in gear and do some video work, because I have not been doing that this year. I kind of got onto my live stream kick and forgot to do regular FlossTube videos, and I need to get back a little bit to the other side of things as well. So thank you, Nicole, for the opportunity to kind of get myself back in gear. For those who haven't seen any FlossTube videos from me in a while, you may notice that things look a little different behind me. My gigantic whip pile is gone, and that is because my family is moving sometime in the next 2 to 3 months. And, well, 3 to 4 months. Let's be a little more fair. We are in the final stages before we list our house on the market, and we will be moving somewhere in Massachusetts, in southern Massachusetts, this autumn. Fingers crossed that it's a relatively smooth move, but it's time. We've been in our house that we're in now for 21 years. So my husband and I have only been married for 19. So our entire married life has been here. You know, Max came into our lives here. I mean, I'm 51, so I've spent almost half my life in this house now. It is in dire need of a complete renovation, literally down to the studs, and everything overhauled in this old house. Great bones. Needs a lot of love, needs more love than my husband and I are really capable of doing at this stage in our lives. And so we're going to pass it on to the next person who has a vision for it and can bring it up to speed for a new family to love it and create their own memories in it. So we're only the second owners of this house, and it's, the second family to live in this house. And it's 126 years old. So it's been good to us, but it is time for us to start a new chapter. And so I have a very limited group of projects that I have with me until we are in our new house and settled in, and I have a new craft room. Everything else has been loaded into a pod, and so I won't see anything now for months on end. Who knows? So for right now, I'm assuming that this is what I am working on for the rest of the year. This is it. I do have a gigantic whip parade live video that I did back in February. So if you want to see everything in the whip parade right now, you'll want to check that out on my live feed. But this is going to be basically my mid-year whip parade. So I will show you what I'm going to be working on for the month. But before I do that, let me kind of give you what my plan is for August. I will be continuing to live stream from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Sunday. We will do 45-minute silent sprints with 10-minute long breaks in the middle. We'll do 3 of those. So you can cross-stitch, knit, work around your house, whatever you want to do. There won't be music, so if you like to watch TV or listen to audiobooks or whatnot, you'll have easy space to do that and just keep the timer running. And then when we're done, obviously, I'll come back and be chatting, and then we'll kind of go off and do that again. So that will be every Sunday, including tomorrow afternoon. I am planning also on doing a 1-hour live stream on Wednesday evenings as a wind down before I go to bed. Those are planned for 10:30 to 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. I already have them scheduled on my live feed, so you'll be able to see those there. That is just to get like an hour of work done on a project that I have going, whatever my whip of the week is. And I am going to attempt to actually have my camera on my stitching during that. So it'll be a live stitch with me. We'll see how well that works. I've never done it before, so hopefully, learning on the fly, it's not too awkward, but hey, I'm awkward anyway, so, whatever. But anyway, so that's going to be on Wednesdays. On Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there will be videos. I will be doing my Mondays. I will be talking about what my plans are for the week as far as my stitching goes. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I'll be just talking about different topics in stitching, showing you kind of like how I'm planning on organizing things or history that I have with stitching, maybe a little bit of stitching technique, that kind of a thing. Saturdays will be a whip weekend. I will show you the piece that is calling me the most for my Sunday night stitching and, random topics that people would like me to talk about. So if there is anything specific that you would like me to talk about with stitching, please leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about, and that will be my Saturday topics. And then we'll just repeat that for the rest of August. All right, so now that I've done that, let me show you the projects that I will be working on essentially for the rest of the year. Starting off with Mute But Not Silent. This is what I've been working on most recently, pretty actively. This is by a designer named Amy Mitten, who lives in Canada. And I took this as a workshop with the Tutorose Sampler Guild back in 2021. This actually was my introduction to the Tutorose Sampler Guild. It is not a reproduction sampler. It is a inspired by a sampler with the Frisian samplers of many years ago and their types of motifs and their ornamental work around their alphabets. This sampler was a workshop in which there is a disappearance mystery that is represented through all of the motifs in this sampler. So I have intentionally actually not, I think I skimmed the sampler or skimmed the story when we first got the piece, but I haven't read it since then. And I'm intentionally not reading it again until I get done with the sampler. So that is what it looks like completely done. And here is where I am on it so far. So this is the samplers on 32 count linen. It is stitched with Tudor silk, which is a much finer grade silk. It kind of looks, it reminds me kind of, the way it looks, it's almost like a super, super, super fine grain. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it kind of reminds me of flower thread and how it feels. It's very fine silk, but I love stitching with it. It's super, super soft. And that is what I have done so far on part 1 of 3 of the storyline. So I will be stitching on this tomorrow, and I will be working over on this motif over here, and then we will see how much further I get on it. So that is the piece, the first piece I'm working on, and we'll see how much I get done this year. The second piece that I'll be working on is also a class I took many years ago. This is Bird and Berry Box by Barbara Jackson. I took this at Celebration of Needlework in 2020. And this was the year that, of course, COVID happened, so this was a remote class. I brought this piece out to work on this year because everything else I was grabbing are big pieces. And I really thought the idea of having something that I actually could finish this year was very appealing. The project came with everything to finish it, including the box itself and all of the wool felt to make all of the berry stuff and even the little red scissors that you see here. So everything is in the kit. So far, I have the needle book stitched except for my initials on the top because I didn't want to do those until I finished everything, so I had the accurate date year on it. So I have the bird done. And then I've been starting the top of the actual box. So this is what that looks like. And all of these stitches here, these are all queen stitches, and the rest of it is cross stitch. This is also done in silk. And it's on, I believe, 32 count linen. I unfortunately do not have the notes that I normally have when I do my FlossTube videos. I realized as I was preparing to film today that I packed them already. So I don't have my notes. But if you do want to get the details, the specific details of what each of these are, they are in my previous floss tubes, and I am going to make a point to go back through those and provide some like floss tube notes for this, as well as, you know, all my other ones, get them up on my blog because a lot of them are missing, whatnot. That's one of my little projects I'll be doing throughout August. So all of that I will link down below. Okay. The next piece I will show you, I also worked on fairly recently, but this is going to become more of an autumn whip for me. This is Coming to America by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. This is a commemorative piece for the 400th anniversary landing of the Mayflower in Plymouth, Mass., which is roughly a 90-minute drive from where I currently live. And really, really pretty piece. I am doing this on 36 count linen. And this is where I am at, finally. This went in timeout for a long time because I did a major miscount on this boat and I did not want to deal with it. So it went into the bad stitch bad pile for me to deal with when I finally was up for picking out a whole ton of stitches. But it is now fixed and the boat is done. Finally, I have a little anchor to put in here. I need to finish the flag, and there are a couple of people that go here, and then I can move on to everything else. Finally, this thing has been sitting here for a long time, so I'm very happy to get this going. This is going to be mostly an autumn whip because I always feel, you know, with Plymouth and the connection to Thanksgiving and all of that, it always feels like more of an autumn piece to me, but you will see this come out. And this is one that if I put my mind to it, I think I might actually be able to finish this one this year. So fingers crossed. All right, the next piece is my reproduction sampler that I decided to pick out of my pile because I do have a few of them going now. This is Mary Foch by Running with Needles and Scissors. And this is another piece that came through the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild, although this is now available to purchase. You can find this at your local needlework store, or you can contact Sylvia directly on her website, her Running with Needles and Scissors website. She does have this available. This is a reproduction sampler by a young girl of 8 years old. Really, really pretty. Gorgeous autumn palette. So again, this will probably be much more of an autumn whip, but it is out and about in my stash. And this is what I have done on her so far. I was focused on other things, so I have not worked on this since our stitch alongs in the guild specifically for this piece ended. I really would like by the end of the year to have the top panel done and hopefully even get some of this second spot done. Not planning on having it completely done this year, but we'll see how far I get. This is done on 46 count linen. It is, the tag is still on it. It is Oatmeal by Fiber on a Whim. And it is done in a beautiful selection of cotton overdyes from Gentle Art and Classic Colorworks. So that is that piece. And when I was selecting the pieces out of the many whips that I have, I realized that I also needed a piece that was easy on the eyes and easy to see, because I do have retreats coming up this fall. And, you know, as it gets later into the night and your eyes are getting tired, but you still want to stitch, you need something that you can just grab that you don't have to work hard to see. And most of my other stuff is on pretty high count linen. So I decided to grab one of my pieces that is specifically on AVADA fabric so that I can stitch something late at night when I'm a little more tired. And this is Elephant Baby by Ursula Michael. I am actually stitching this twice. I have two of my cousins who have had little babies decided that they both liked the same piece. So I bought two kits of this so I can do it twice for each of their little kiddos. And then one of them has since had another baby. So I have another Ursula Michael sampler, baby sampler, that I will be doing for baby number 2 for my cousin Katie. I will be showing the progress on this until I get to the point where I am customizing their name and their birth date, because obviously not my child, so I should not show their stuff on camera. But everything up until then, you will see the results of it, and it's just a cute little piece, easy on DMC. I don't have a bunch done on it yet, but I have started it. And I will show you where this is, make sure I have this going the right way. I'm totally upside down. It's hard when you don't have the actual elephant in there, but this is basically what the elephant has coming out of its trunk. And then the beginning of the side border. All in DMC, 14 count AVADA, super easy to stitch. And like I said, I've got 2 copies of this that I have to go, and I'm pretty sure I can get both of those done by the end of the year. Maybe even the third one. We'll see. Because like I said, not a lot of whips. So I will be rotating through the same group the whole time. Okay, next in line is from a retreat I just attended earlier in, well, it's August now. In July, the second week of July, which is Frogwarts by Black Needle Society. This year was the final year of Frogwarts. We did book 7 of the Harry Potter series. And this was the sampler for this year. As you can see, lots of stitching on it. It's not that big, even though there's so much on it. It's a whole ton of little motifs packed into a surprisingly tight space. So this is year 7 by itself. And then there also, of course, is the option to do all of the books on one piece of fabric. And let me get it all in screen. So this is what it looks like when you have all 7 books together. I began attending this retreat in year 2, which is right here. But at that point, I was just collecting the patterns and I wasn't actually stitching on the piece. I decided to start stitching on the piece during the retreat in year 4. And then starting in year 5, I joined one of the competitive teams within the retreat to see if I could stitch the entire year's sampler in the 2 weeks leading up to the retreat through the end of the retreat. So we started like the last Sunday in June all the way through the end of the retreat, all 3 years. And I am a surprisingly steady stitcher as far as how far I got, but I didn't complete it any of the 3 years. I tried to do it, but I got a lot done. And I'm quite happy with what I got done. So this is done on 40 count fabric. I unfortunately do not have my notes, so I don't know what color it's on at the moment. It is all in a mix of overdyes with a little bit, as we get into the final 2 years, some sparkly DMC Étoile thread. So this is years 4 through 7 as I have them going. My goal on this one by the end of the year is I do want to finish years 5, 6, and 7. And then from there, I'm going to see how much I get done. They are having an alumni retreat next summer. That's going to be in person for anyone who has attended one of the Frogworks retreats in the past. And I don't think I'll get the whole thing done by next summer, but I'd like to make a good stab at getting quite a bit of it done. I'm quite certain that by next summer, I can get all of these 4 years done, and we'll see how much more I can do. So that is Frogworks. One thing, yes, it is done on 40 count, and those words, with the quotes from the books, are done over 1 on 40 count fabric. So yeah, huge magnifiers to be able to see those holes on 40 count. It's like, oh, very, very, very small stitching, even for me, and definitely takes a little while to do that. I learned my lesson after year 5 that over 1 needs to be done before the retreat starts. So I even have a chance of getting anywhere because it's slow going. Okay, the final piece that I have to show you for this is the Fruit of Plenty. And this is by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was their stitch along in 2021. I was working on this last weekend, and I probably will be working on this tomorrow during my live stream, just because I was getting into a good rhythm with it. So very intense piece, but it's all cross stitch. It's not like it's any complicated stitching. It's just a lot of it. There were options when this was released to do it in 1 color or in 2, as it's shown here, where it's in a light blue and a dark blue. And I am doing it as pictured in 2 colors. I am doing this in DMC 800, which is the blue, and DMC 840, which is the brown. So I have a good chunk of the top of it done. And my goals over the next, not over August, but by the end of the year, is I want to finish this up, and I really would like to get these blue bands down to the first cutoff here where these start. So all of this here and all of this here, so I can define that section. And then if I can get it done this year, I'd like to get this in, but we shall see. This is going to be my retreat piece for the retreats I'm going to in fall. So after this weekend, I probably will be putting this away for a lot of August, but we'll see. We'll see if what strikes me and what I feel like working on this month. But during the retreats I go to this fall, this is going to be my primary piece that I'm going to focus on. So, and then when I'm getting tired in the evening, I'll bring out that birth sampler. So that is my plan for stitching in August. And like I said, I will be doing live streams twice a week. I already have them all booked out on my live page, FlossTubes the rest of the time. And any questions you have for me, just put them in the comments and I will grab those and run with them. So since it is 11:48 p.m., I'm going to end this here so I get this posted and have it up actually on the 1st of August. And I will see you tomorrow night when I do my live stream at 5 p.m. Until then, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye.